I'm Mrs. Meenala Satyamurthy, your facilitator, here with you for yet another class to embark upon new words that would help you in the forthcoming examinations. What is there in store for you today? What is there that she's going to deal with? What have I got to expect? Expect nothing, but you'll return with something. That's the best rule. So, I've got something nice, something interesting that invariably, without your knowledge, would get into your answer script and you wouldn't realize why there was a mistake. Why have I been marked wrong? Why haven't I scored the right marks yet? And there's the reason. To find out, it would take some other time. But attend this session and you will know that there is the reason and that you can correct upon it with this little concentration that is required. And a change, I must say, from your daily routine of pouring yourself amidst those big books. Now, without wasting your precious time and the energy and the time required, let's all put our heads into this session. Welcome once again. As is the practice, I shall share the screen with you. Now, even before, yes, I will share the screen and then we shall start. Yes. We had started yesterday. Yeah, we were exactly on this part yesterday when I left the class. The business phrasal verbs. I've been repeating, yes, like a parrot, but yes, that's what gets into our system. The phrasal verbs are ample in number, but with the vision of the examinations looming in large in front of us, business phrasal verbs seem to be the most appropriate choice. We had done up till here. So let's start on with it. Now, here, just before, yes, sort out, organize, affix. Her financial records are a mess, but we shall sort them out. So, sort them out as to you organize or you fix based on what has happened. And this is going to be a common feature when you all take up your exams or when you all go up for these courses, because what happens is when you enter a company, you will have to sort the files and keep them in order so that whenever it is asked for, it's just ready at your hand. That should be the way things should be dealt with. Take on, we are not taking any new staff at this moment. No, we are not going to employ any new staff at this moment. This was a common phrase that has been heard, I must say, off lately after the COVID breakdown. So this, I think, is slowly now receding and we shall see new pastures open to all of us. Take over, you take over rather control of responsibility of something. He understands the business and can take over when I'm away. If you're seen in a company, the president, the vice president, if the president is not there, the vice president is automatically asked to take over from the president. Now, this goes on so smoothly that the system is not disturbed. The system keeps on working and then the whole thing goes on. Remember, in life too, it is same. Nobody is indispensable. You have to learn all the duties and the responsibilities and then take over so smoothly as it could be. The journey should not have humps. Why? When you are in the company, no, learn everything. We have this attitude. So why should we? And we just love that attitude of shrugging our shoulders. Please don't ever develop that habit of shrugging the shoulders. It might be a little out of the topic, but definitely very useful for you and for everyone. So, yes, it is from 4 to 5:30, correct. So that's the thing. And now what will happen is you can take over the business when somebody is away. That's how the big companies move on. The system gets in place. Once the system gets in place, even if there is a replacement, the other one can take over very easily. Bailout to rescue somebody from a very difficult situation, especially financial problems. Remember, we use the word bail out even in the other terms from the prison, but here from financial problems too. The bank helped to bail out the struggling company. See how it can be related to the contextual issue. Cut back to reduce something. In times of economic hardship, firms cut back on training. Firms cut back on so many things from the last 2 years. All of us have witnessed and literally been in the stream that there's no other example to be given than this very live example. What happened to each one of us, not only in our country, but throughout the world, how so many things were cut back. So many things were cut back, and we all have literally experienced and come out of it and are slowly progressing ahead. Go under to become bankrupt. The firm will go under unless business improves. Now, go under the table. That's what we say sometimes in our colloquial way. But no, see, go under to become bankrupt. So when you are addressing a letter, writing a letter, and when you are addressing something, when you're writing a paragraph or whatever it is, see the phrase that has to be utilized. Go under. Excuse me, fall through, to fail, to happen. The sale of the house fell through. It failed to happen. I couldn't sell the house for any umpty reasons. Pull away, to move away from something or stop being involved in it. We had to pull out from the project because it became very expensive. We had to pull out from so many things that we could not work out. And in business terms, this is absolutely common. Bottom out, to stop getting worse. Economists think that the recession is bottoming out. It's stopped getting worse. It's slowly improving. Level off, to stop rising or falling and becoming steady. Inflation has begun to level off. So this was what the business phrasal verbs that I had for till today. Do not worry. I have yet another list coming up for you, and that I shall share it with you tomorrow. So right now, this is it, and let's move on. Yes, I'll start this, and then I go on to what I want to deal with. Yes, I hope all of you can see it. My mother read me a tale. T-A-L-E, T-A-I-L. It's just T-A-L-E and T-A-I-L. It's called homophone. Homo means same. Phone means sound. Homophone. My mother read me a tale. T-A-L-E or T-A-I-L. Now, which one is the right answer? Can somebody write down, or shall I tell? My mother read me a tale. T-A-L-E. My sister dashed the first prize. One. O-N-E-1, W-O-N-1. So my sister won the first prize. The dash flew away on her broom. Which and which? Can you still answer this? Which and which? W-I-T-C-H, W-H-I-C-H. Which one is the answer? Well, since nobody is willing, let me answer for myself. The witch flew away on her broom. Ria dashed her bed this morning. M-A-I-D, M-A-D-E. Same sound, different spelling, different meaning. Ria made her bed this morning. So in your answer, if you write M-A-I-D instead of M-A-D-E, see what damage it can do. It can jeopardize the entire meaning of your answer. I did teach you jeopardize just in the first class. So made her bed this morning. The other one we refer to as maid servant. Yes. Ajay dashes bike on the street. ROAD, road. RODE, road. So bike, always we use the word ride and road, whereas for a car we use drive. So remember that also. A young deer ran into the woods. DEER, DEAR. So it is DEER. There are 7 days in a week. Now, week, 1 week is frail. Are you not well because you are after you're being sick, or you have been roaming around in the sun, which is WEAK. Double, W indicates that you're frail. I want to meet you at the park. MEAT, MEET. So naturally, MEET. The sun shines during the day. So it is SUN, SON. Naturally, SON is one, which is the blood relation, and the other SUN is the sun's rise, which shines. The last one, the maid cleans the house. MAID, MADE. So which is nothing but MAID. I made my bed. The maid cleans the bed. The maid cleans the bed. MAID, cleans, or made the bed. MADE, the bed. So please be very conscious of what you're trying to utilize in your answers. It could really end up in a very damaging situation, making you to lose marks just because of these kind of homophones. Fine, we shall move on to the next exercise. I would like to share my whiteboard here and write something even before I could go on. It might be a very simple exercise that we are dealing with, but doesn't matter. We shall know and be aware that's where the mistakes occur. Now, adjective is nothing but a word which we say describes a noun. Yes. Now, adverb is nothing but a word which describes describes a verb, or as the meaning goes, adds something verb. So that is adverb. Now, these two I have taken up right now. I have some exercises which are combined. I have some exercises which are separate. Remember very clearly what we have to use. Now, in an adjective, what happens is when you, in the first few positive degrees, it's as, adjective, and as. It can also be adjective and than, which is the, sorry, not then, it is than, which is nothing but the comparative degree. We can have the article the and the adjective, which is the superlative degree. No doubt, these 3 degrees hold together even in the usage of adverbs. But we have certain norms to be followed. You cannot use double comparative just like you cannot use double past tense in English. For example, I can say much better, but I cannot say more better. More itself is in the comparative degree. Better is also in the comparative degree. So I cannot use more better. On the contrary, I have to say much better. And this is one thing. Secondly, if you have noticed, tall, taller, tallest, you just add ER and EST, it changes into very simple words like that. But there are words like difficult, interesting, which you make the comparative by adding more difficult and most difficult. So this is another exception that you have to remember. Apart from this, you have much more, most, little less, least, good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, worst. So these are things that you have. I haven't given this in the worksheet so that you fill up and you know. Because when you are comparing, when you are asked to compare, and when you're given a pie chart or a bar graph, or when you're given a line graph or whatever, a table itself, these comparatives come in real handy. And when you compare, please remember that you use THAN, than. And when you use the superlative, please remember you use THED before the superlative. Also remember that you cannot use double comparatives at all. So this is something that you must remember, and you must consciously put it across into your answers while writing the answers, because comparatives do come in handy. You have adjectives as well as adverbs. The placement of adverbs are also very important. How you place them is actually very, very important. So it is in these exercises that I'm going to do so. Now, what happens is, in certain cases, whether it is good, better, best, well, better, best, both adjective and adverb remain the same. But in the case of a word like slow, if it is an adjective, it becomes slow, slower, slowest. But if it becomes an adverb, slowly, then it becomes more slowly, then it becomes more slowly. So this also can happen. Similarly, with the word quick, quick, quicker, quickest, quickly, more quickly, most quickly, loud, louder, loudest, loudly, more loudly, most loudly. So these are things that happen, and exceptions are bound to be there in English grammar. It goes without saying. I have quite a few exercises for you lining up to check whether this holds good. But I would appreciate if you could participate, and let's see. It says exercise adjective or adverb. In the following sentences, cross out the incorrect word and write in the correct word in the blanks. If the sentence is correct, write as correct. If the sentence is wrong, then you have to tell me. Now, I do not know how many of you are here today, but then doesn't matter. I shall be the student as well as the teacher. It gives me some revision too, you see? Yes. Terence plays quarterback as well as Brian. Correct or wrong? If you could take a little trouble and answer, that will be wonderful. If you could take a little trouble and answer, fine. If you can't, I shall start answering. Terence plays quarterback as well as Brian is correct, because both of them play very well. So it is given the positive degree as well as. The game hadn't hardly begun before it started to rain. What is the mistake in this sentence? The game hadn't hardly begun before it started to rain. Remember, we say he succeeded because of hard work. That is fine. He succeeded because he worked hardly. We have this habit of using hardly very frequently as if it is in our pocket and we don't have to worry at all. Hardly actually means literally nothing. It has a negative connotation. So the game had hardly begun before it started to rain. The game had hardly begun before it started to rain. Okay, today people have decided to remain silent. I shall accept your silence and treat it as golden and feel that, wow, my teaching has been carried over effectively. God knows, but then I have to boost my morale and move forward. I can't stop. This was sure a mild winter. Anybody with the mistake why it is so? This was surely a mild winter. Next one. Jane behaves more pleasant than John. Jane behaves more pleasantly than John. Why? Because we are talking about behavior. Now here behaves is acting like a verb. So this is actually qualifying more of the verb. Therefore, its comparison and adverbs are to be used. So more pleasantly. Now, when you are a parent, you will think different about children. The reading itself will tell you there's something wrong. When you are a parent, you will think different about children. The answer will be when you are a parent, you will think differently about children. When you are a parent, you will think differently. Think is the verb to which the adverb has been added, so it will be think differently. I feel badly about not having done good on my final exams. Any answer for that? No. Yes, fine. Doesn't matter. So I felt bad about not having done good in my exams. So felt badly, no, felt bad. Whether you win is not near as important as how you play. Whether you win is not near as important as how you play. Whether you win is not nearly as important as how you play. Next one. Asian music often sounds oddly to Western listeners. So, Asian music often sounds oddly to Western listeners. Have you seen the mistake or have you really caught upon it? If you don't want to answer, fine, I shall tell. Asian, yes, there is somebody who has at last done something odd. Superb, and thank you so much for having taken the trouble of chatting and giving me the answer. It gives me some solace. Yes, Asian music often sounds odd to Western listeners. Does your car run well enough to enter the race? Any mistake here? Does your car run well enough to enter the race? Any mistake here? Do you see any mistake over here? No, it's correct. I felt safely enough to go out or at night on my own. I felt safely enough to go out at night on my own. I felt safe enough. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a billion. I felt safe enough to go out at night on my own. You can see the distant mountains clear with these binoculars. You can see the distant mountains clear with these binoculars. Any answer? Anything to be popped out? Hoping for the best? Yes, good. Clearly, yes, correct. You can see the distant mountains clearly with these binoculars. Our team was really sharp last Sunday afternoon during the game. Our team was real sharp last Saturday afternoon during the game. Any answer? Have you caught up on while I was speaking? Because I did give out the answer when I read it out for the very first time. Really, yes. Yes, whosoever has answered, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. You really made my day. Yesterday, at least there were a few who were answering, but today you really set the ball rolling. Good luck. So our team was really sharp last Sunday afternoon during the game. So now imagine if you have written an answer like this without the correct usage, then what meaning would it project to the evaluator? what would it convey to the evaluator? That is why this sort of actually refurbishing our brain cells on and off is essential. We worry and say, my God, 90 minutes, I have to sit and listen. No, have an open mind and listen, because you will understand that it not only gives an impetus to further learning, but it also provides the platform to tell you, please do your answers in this manner. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next screen. Only first one I'll reduce, then yeah. I seldom visit my relatives, so I dash see my Uncle John. Usually, almost never, almost always. I seldom visit my relatives, so I dash see my Uncle John. I almost never see my Uncle John. I almost always see my Uncle John. I usually see my Uncle John. Any answer? Any answer? Seldom means rarely. I hardly, what was the question there? I hardly visit my relatives. So I almost never see my Uncle John. Next. I'm never late for our English class. I am dash on time. Often on time, usually on time, always on time. Which would be the right answer? If you read the question, you can make out. I'm never late for our English class. I'm dash on time. I'm often on time. I'm usually on time. I'm always on time. No answer, doesn't matter. I'm always on time. James goes to the beach only once a year. He dash goes to the beach. He almost never goes to the beach. He never goes to the beach. He sometimes goes to the beach. What could be the answer? Yes, fine. No reply. He sometimes goes to the beach because he goes to the beach only once a year. When you cannot follow, please read the above sentence or the below so that the meaning fix into it and you can understand clearly. My sister often dash a book in the evenings. Reads a book, read a book, is reading a book. My sister often reads a book in the evenings. I dash eat junk food because I know it's not very healthy. I always eat junk food because I know it's not very healthy. I sometimes eat, I seldom eat. Any answer? Okay, fine. You've decided not to answer. It's I seldom eat junk food. Dash, we go to the gym to exercise maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Rarely, sometimes, never. Sometimes we go to the gym to exercise maybe 2 or 3 days a week. I dash watch cartoons because I hate them. News shows are much better. So the answers are almost always, sometimes, never. The answer will be I never watch cartoons. Next one. I went to a restaurant last week, but I dash eat at home. I seldom eat at home. I usually eat at home. I always eat at home. I went to a restaurant last week, but I usually eat at home. She doesn't dash finish work easily because she's often busy. She doesn't never finish work easily. She doesn't usually finish work easily. She doesn't always finish work easily because she's often busy. So she doesn't usually finish work easily. It dash snows where I live, so I never make a snowman. Sometimes, never, always. It always snows where I live, so I never make a snowman. We visit our grandparents 3 or 4 times. the month, a month, month, whether the article is required or not. We visit our grandparents 3 or 4 times a month. A month. It is required, because you should also know that A indicates certain positivity. So a month. He almost never sees a doctor because he is dash sick. Almost always sick, almost because he is usually sick, because he is seldom sick. The answer is because he is seldom sick. Do you dash travel to other countries on your summer holidays? Do you ever travel to other countries on your summer holidays? Do you never travel? Do you how often travel? Is the screen sharing coming a little later to you, and that's why you're not able to answer? Yes. Do you ever travel? Can't understand why it isn't sharing, taking so much time to upload, because it used to upload very fast yesterday. Let's try this. Okay, I'll zoom the screen. Sure. Okay, only the first one. That book is best than your book. What is the mistake there? That book is, I'll read the sentence. That book is, okay, I'll write it down here. That will be better for you. Can you make out the mistake here? That's the question. That book is best than your book. Can you make out the mistake here? Better than. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. Now the third one. Who is most beautiful of the two sisters? Who is most beautiful of the two sisters? Any answer? When two are there, only when two are compared, it will always be in comparative degree. Who is more beautiful of the two sisters? Now the fourth one. He is strongest of the two brothers. Any answer? He is strongest of the two brothers. Any answer? He is the strongest of the two brothers. She's more inferior to Ramesh in intelligence. So she's more inferior to Ramesh in intelligence. This is something that I need to tell you and show you too. And this you must remember always. When you get the words like superior, inferior, junior, senior, elder, superior, inferior, junior, senior, elder. This is always followed by to and not than. I'm superior to you. I'm inferior to you. I'm junior to you. I'm senior to you. I'm elder to you. Now, if you want to say, oh, in age-wise older, then you can use older than. But otherwise, you have to say, she's elder to me. I'm superior to you. I repeat, I'm inferior to you. I'm junior to you. I'm senior to you. I'm elder to you. Please do not use than with these adjectives. This is very, very essential to remember and not make the same mistake repeatedly. Superior to you, inferior to you, junior to you, senior to you, elder to you. So here we have yeah, she's more inferior to Ramesh in intelligence. Are you able to see this thing? Yes, so she's more inferior to Ramesh in intelligence. The answer will be she's inferior to Ramesh in intelligence. No other metal is heavier as lead. No other metal is as heavy as lead. So heavier does not come here because than is not there and we cannot use it. So as heavy as lead. Iron is most useful than any other metal. Now, what is missing here? This is article THE. I told you yesterday also, articles are just like salts. They add lot of taste to your curries. Similarly, do not leave out articles. See what damage the sentence does. Iron is most useful than any other metal. Iron is the most useful than any other metal. Rose is the most loveliest of all flowers. Here, the is there, most is there, loveliest is there. Then what is the mistake, ma'am? The mistake is there are two superlatives. Most also, loveliest also. Which is better than iron is the loveliest of all flowers. Iron is the most useful, or iron is more useful than any other metal. Yes, correct. That is also the most useful of all metals. Yes, correct. His oldest son joined the army. Is this correct? His oldest son joined the army. Any answer? No? Okay. His eldest son joined the army. He is the eldest man in the village. He is the oldest man in the village. Amit is older than Arun. Amit is elder to Arun. Okay. You never say older than. Amit is elder to Arun. He came later than I. He came later than I. I could not hear the later part of his speech. I could not hear the latter part of his speech. Chennai is further from Delhi than Kolkata. Chennai is farther, Farther. Now, I must get further information. If you are THER, see what difference it can make. Chennai is farther in terms of distance. More information, you. That is the thing. Yes, correct. Correct. Yeah. Let me do this exercise. Yeah. It looks anyway, I'm only answering. So I will also answer. And yes. Can you see the application? At least put thumbs up if you can see. Well, doesn't matter. I've shared it. Okay, fine. Adjectives are adverbs. Choose the correct item. He correctly defined the terms. The answer sounded correctly correct. So which one is which one? Not bad. Somebody has decided to answer. He correctly defined the terms. The answer sounded correct. She quickly adjusted the fees. She adapted quickly to any situation. What could be the answer? The answer could be and will be she quickly adjusted the fees. She adapted quickly to any situation. He measured the floor. Exact or exactly. He measured the floor exactly. They proved to be perfect with exact measurements. The stillness of the tomb was awful. The tomb was awfully or awful still. Okay, fine. The stillness of the tomb was awful. The tomb was awfully silent. It was a dangerous lake to swim in. The man was dangerously drunk. The gas smelled dangerous. It was a dangerous lake to swim. The man was dangerously drunk. The gas smelled dangerous. How well it can be put across. Yes, she performed magnificently. It was a magnificent performance. It was a beautiful performance. It was a magnificent performance. We never say magnificent. It is magnificent. Her voice sounds beautiful. She sang the song exactly as it was written. We heard it perfectly. So her voice sounds beautiful. She sang the song exactly as it was written. We heard it perfectly. He was a very sensible person. He acted very sensibly. He was a very sensible person. He acted very sensibly. If you have noticed, he was a very sensible person. We are describing what kind of person he is. So he is sensible. How did he act? He acted sensibly. So we are given more importance to the action. And that action word is nothing but a verb. It is adding more meaning to the word action. So he acted sensibly. That is it. What is the difference between what? Can you ask me? Can you type that down at least if you don't mind? Are you asking the difference between sensibly and sensible? Or are you asking me the difference between adjective and adverb there? Or are you asking me the difference in the meaning of the sentence? I want to know. If you don't mind typing it out, it'll be helpful. Just type the words, that'll be helpful. Anyway, since you're not telling me, I'll tell you all the three differences. Adjective and adverb. Good, at least you told me, I'm glad. Okay, I shall tell you. Thanks for asking a doubt. I'm so glad. Yes. In the first case, I said, now if you take out this sentence, it can just be he was a person. Yes. Now, if it just says he was a person, what kind of a person was he? Good person, bad person, tall, short? No, he was a sensible person. He had some sense in his head. Therefore, it is describing the man. The man's quality. And therefore, it's an adjective. That is the thing. Now, In this particular case, he acted. How did he act? Acted badly, acted well, acted good. He acted sensibly. Sensibly is adding more meaning to the verb add, and therefore it is an adverb. So adverb adds meaning to a verb usually, because if I have to go deeper, it can add meaning to another adjective also, another adverb also. So let me not confuse you. That's the thing. Adjective describes a noun, and this description can come before the noun or after the noun also. He was good. He was a good man, or I can also say he was good. Both are adjectives. The placement is not a problem there at all. That is one thing. Now, he acted in a sensible manner. See how the meaning changes. He acted in a sensible manner. Here, what kind of manner did he act? Sensible manner. Here, manner becomes a noun. So sensible here becomes an adjective. So it's very important how it is placed and what it describes. In the other thing, he acted sensibly. Sorry. So it is going back to act. Now, if I say, that is why here, he writes neatly. So how does he write? Neatly. So it is adding more meaning to the verb. Therefore, an adverb, as the word itself suggests, adverb, add to the verb. Adjective describes. Now, both of them have various types if you go deeper into it. My idea is not to teach that part of English grammar to you. My idea is to tell you how to use them in writing while you are describing your answer, or you're comparing and contrasting something, because this is a very common feature for you people. That's what I know, and that's why I'm bringing out that factor. You will have comparisons, you will have superlatives to be utilized while you are describing. And when you have to write in the letters, or when you have to do something, these come up, and that's how I brought it out. Otherwise, you have ample times, adjectives of time, number, quality, everything is there. I'm not going into that. So what I'm going into is how it could be utilized so that your answer, when you write, looks perfect. A simple sentence it may be, but the sentence should be neatly structured. That's all. Do not worry about the usage of the vocabulary, but worry about the simplicity with perfect quality in it. That is the beauty. People get worried, oh, I didn't use that vocabulary. No, just worry about the simplicity of the sentence, but correctly done. So this is what it is. I hope you have understood. If you could put a thumbs up, or if you still have doubts, I don't mind. I'm ready to explain. No, not this, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Have you followed? If you could at least say that you have followed, it would be helpful. Okay, doesn't matter. I think now you can see the application. Yes, we finished the 8th one. We are now moving on to the 9th one. Mike wrote too slowly on the exam. He always writes slowly. Mike wrote too slow on the exam. He always writes slowly. Slowly is adding more meaning to the way he writes. So Mike wrote too slow. It's describing his way of writing There it's an adjective. Andrea knows the material very well. She always treats us well. She knows the material well. How much does she know of the material? Little, less, least, more, much, good, better, well. She knows well. So it's describing as to how she knows the material. What is the level of understanding of hers of the material or the content? So there it's describing that. So it's an adjective. She always treats us well. Treats is a verb. How does she treat you? Does she treat you indifferently? Does she treat you badly? Does she treat you poorly? No, she treats you well. And that is adverb. You must send payments regularly. We deal on a strictly cash basis. You must send payments regularly. Regularly, what you should send? Payments. So it goes back to send. Sending regularly the payments. So there it's an adverb. We deal on a strict cash basis. So we deal on a strict cash basis. Our work is to see that we get cash strict. Very strict we are about it. The mechanic's tools were good. This foreman said that his work was well done. Tools were good, describing the quality of the tools. The tools were bad. A bad man blames his tools. So he says his tools are bad. No, his tools were good. So it's an adjective. He said his work was well done. How did you do your work? Well done. Keep it up. How did you do your work? Bad. Not at all good. So how did you do your work? Means you're adding more meaning to the verb, therefore adverb. She worked carefully with the sick child. She was a very careful worker. Child is very sick. How did she work? Was she negligent? Or was she good? Was she bad? She worked carefully, describing her work, adding more meaning to the verb. Therefore, it's adverb. What kind of worker was she? Good worker, bad worker, tall worker, nice worker. She was a careful worker. So it's describing her, therefore, adjective. He did not pass the course as easily as he thought he would. He did not pass the course as easily as he thought he would. So he did not do well. So naturally, adverb. I hope I made this clear and I hope I've clarified your doubts before we move on to the next one. This is the most interesting part that we have today. Okay, I have to write before I teach. We have there, we have there, we have there. They are actually, but A is silent. A is not there. Yesterday I taught you apostrophe, so it's indicating A is missing. How do we attack this? How do we do this? What is the difference between these three? They're pretty confusing when you see them. There, they are. So it almost sounds similar. How do you write? You will only write when you understand the meaning of the sentence. Now, I shall give you certain clues as to how you can understand this and how you can place whether there are there and you will understand. Now, always remember this there, T-H-E-R-E. So it shows you remove T. What happens? It becomes here. Instead of T, you add W. It becomes where. Ultimately, remember, it shows place, location. Here also shows place. Where also shows place. So when you remove T, if you do this kind of work, you will understand you have to use THERE. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. THERE refers to place. How do I remember whether this or that, ma'am? And in the exam, I get so confused because I'm really tensed up. What do I do? Think for a second. What clue I taught you? Cancel off T. Make it HERE. Here. Here means place. Here. Sit here. Stand here. Get up. Move there. Move here. Instead of T, add W. Where? Where are you? Come here. You know it is place and location. You cannot make a mistake. That's it. Now, let's go to the next one. This is plural. Sorry. Possessive pronoun. Plural possessive pronoun. PQ. Remember PQ are 3 P's. Plural possessive pronoun. PQ. So you cannot forget that. There I did not bring that part at all. Basically, it acts like an adjective. So I didn't want to tell all that and confuse you. Now it's a plural possessive pronoun. Possession itself means belongs to me. It's mine. Now, how do I understand? What you can do is, instead of THEIR, make it HEIR. Heir. Heir to the property. So it means to say he owns. Therefore, you only use THEIR. Remember, when you say heir to the property, it means to say he owns the property. Whoever is the heir, in whatever terms, whether it is money, whether it is property, whether there are two brothers and they own everything, they're the heirs to the property, they're the legal heirs. You people will be using legal heirs so much. So legal owners of the property, okay, that's trespassed, so the legal heirs are still alive. Whatever it is, you know that meaning. So if you remove T, you get HEIR, heir. H is silent, friends. That's why I'm pronouncing it is like that. Heir to the property. You don't say heir. It is heir to the property. And when you say heir to the property, is the owner of the property. There indicates possession. It owns. It is their book. It is their car. It is their school. It is their building. It is their office. Don't touch the computer car. It is theirs. So it is there. That is the thing. Here, it usually indicates they are is A is missing. Remember, this apostrophe here can be slowly made into A. This apostrophe can be slowly made into A. I don't know whether I can try with this. Not with this. I can't do this. Slowly made into A. So that is the meaning of they are. Usually 90% of the time, they are coming. They are running. They're going out. They're doing the work. They're sleeping. They're talking. They're laughing. They're writing their exam. Usually, you only use the word usually. I will never say 100% here because you know very well, I've already told you so clearly that English grammar will have exceptions and bound to have in certain cases. Oh no, she told us 100%, she's telling no. So usually it is followed by the ing of the verb. They are going to the market. They are coming to my house. They are writing a test. They are reading the book. They are attending a conference. They are visiting the supermarket. You've seen how I'm using ing form? That is it. So there indicates you remove T, it becomes here. You instead of T, you add W. It is place and location. You cannot forget. You cannot make a mistake. THEIR is plural possessive pronoun. It is theirs. You can add S there. And you remove T, it becomes heir. Heir is nothing but you own. So when you own, you use there. They are, R is missing, A is missing. That's why you put the apostrophe. So they are coming. So always, usually, it is followed by the ing of the verb. So this is not a confused set of words once you understand the usage, once you understand how to use. Please remember this golden rule. It's beautifully placed in front of you. Absolutely use it up for your exam. It's very helpful. Very, very helpful when you're writing the answer. Be it any subject, especially there, and there. So, and when you ma'am, what is the exception? They're so good. For example, I said they are coming, they're writing, they're this thing. I can say like this. Here, ing is not used. So it can be exception. They're so good. They're good to me. They're excellent. So I can use this. That's the thing. So I hope you have understood. Now we shall go to the exercise. Yes. I hope now at least you will answer, because if I answer now, it looks like a revision done for my own self, and my knowledge of this gets literally embedded into my system. I have no loss, no gain. But I only pray God, He gives you the strength to answer. Dash is nobody home at the moment. There is nobody home at the moment. Which there I will use. T-H-E-I-R, T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. Fine. There is nobody home at the moment, T-H-E-R-E. Their new car is blue and not purple, as you said it was. T-H-E-I-R, its position. They were very concerned about their puppy because it belongs to them. T-H-E-I-R. America is also known as over there. T-H-E-R-A. While we were in France, we enjoyed the hot weather there. T-H-E-R-E. Hannah and Stephen went there with their kids. Went there, that place, T-H-E-R-E, with their kids, T-H-E-I-R. How come their feet are so big, T-H-E-I-R? They're not from here. They're from Norway. They're not from here. See here, there's an exception. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. They're not from here. They're from Norway. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E from Norway. There was actually nothing that they could do about it. T-H-E-R-E. Their aunt loves traveling. Their aunt loves traveling, not your aunt. So T-H-E-I-R. Their parents are extremely wealthy, not my parents, their parents. So T-H-E-I-R, possession. As soon as they're here, we can leave. So again, an exception. I told you, that is why I use the word usually. Please be very careful where English grammar is concerned and the rules are concerned. So as long as they're here, we can leave. So T-H-E-Y-R-E. It depends on their culture or their fashion sense, you know. T-H-E-I-R, T-H-E-I-R. It is their choice to go to that extent, T-H-E-I-R. There is nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it, T-H-E-R-E. There is no way I enter a Christian church, T-H-E-I-R-E. I like your new shoes. They're very nice. T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. Wait, I shall scroll it down. 18th one. They spent their holidays with their grandparents. Their, with their grandparents. Their. Their food has a good reputation all over town. So that is all over town is nothing but their food, not my food, their food. So Their. When they came home, they found their dog messing around. Their. They went there twice in August with two different sets of friends. Went there, place, There. I'm excited about my exam results, but there is one mark I hate. There. Right there, don't you see it? There. I dream about the USA every day. I want to go there once. There. Yes, fill in the blanks. I know a great little restaurant. Dash, we can get lunch. That we can get lunch. Who we can get lunch. Where we can get lunch. And the answer is where we can get lunch. Sam knows a man. Yes, where? Sam knows a man. Dash brother works for the president. Who brother? Whose brother? Whom brother? And the answer is Sam knows a man whose brother works for the president. Students dash study hard, get good grades. Students when study hard, students who study hard get. Yeah. And the third one? Third one? Yeah, correct. Fourth one? Yeah, that is correct. A, yes. Fifth one? C, correct. Sixth one? Sixth one? B, correct. Seventh one? When? So it is A, correct. Eighth one? Okay, go on to the ninth one. Yes, correct. Go on to the 10th one. Tenth one. It is B. Yeah, Y is the answer. Go on to the 11th one. A, correct. Go on to the 12th one. C, correct. Go on to the 13th one. B, B, B. B is the answer. Next one, 14th one. A, yes, correct. Fifteenth one is a little this thing, it's okay. Yes, I wanted to do actually with you IBLE and ABLE, which I had yesterday left out. So I'll finish off that. I've got under 15 minutes more, doesn't matter. What? In the following sentences, the 4 letters are omitted. Okay. Each IBLE or ABLE, complete each word with the appropriate ending. Last night movie about the invisible man was so incredible that it was laughable. Now there is a rule here that I wanted to tell you. That's why I thought I should do this for you. Now, whenever the root word has a full meaning, we use ABLE. Whenever the root word doesn't have a full meaning, we use IBLE. Of course, exceptions. That is also there. That you remember. So that is one thing that you have to remember, especially when G is there, or when, for example, you have word like this, access. You add IBLE, though it is meaningful. Then you have digest. It is fully meaning, IBLE. These are exceptions that I'm giving you. Flexible, IBLE. Then suggestible. Sorry, spelling is wrong. So all these are exceptions. Otherwise, remember, the rule of this spelling is capable. So you know very well, cap. So it has a meaning on its own. So you add ABLE. It also indicates that you can do something. So that is what it is. For example, capable. So manageable. So you can do M-A-N-A-G-E, manage. It's meaningful. A-B-L-A. Manage means you can do something. So you're adding. So when the root word has a complete meaning, you add A-B-L-E. When the root word does not have a complete meaning, you add I-B-L-E. When the root word has a complete meaning, it also means that you can do it. Similarly, there is exception, and those exceptions are accessible, digestible, flexible, suggestible. So this is what I wanted to do with you yesterday, and I couldn't do, but this is very important when you write your answer. Yes. Can you see this? So last night movie about the invisible. I-N-V-I-S, meaningless, invisible. Incredible. That it was laughable. Laugh as its meaning. My irresponsible brother is usually kept away from anything breakable. A-B-L-A. Are these new clothes really comfortable? Comfortable. Or do people only wear because they are fashionable? Fashion has a meaning on its own. I think I would be less irritable. So there is this thing, irrit. If my professors were more flexible. I don't think voting twice in national elections is permissible. IBLE. It's always valuable. The E changes to A. To have a friend who is dependable. My employer said that isn't suitable. Suit has a meaning on its own. To have a secretary whose handwriting is illegible. So have a handwriting which is legible. So that is the meaning of it. This is what I wanted to share with you, and I thought I should share. And I always share with you certain prepositions that go with words which go with certain prepositions. I'm going to write down that for you again. We always say accompanied with. We always say correspond to, are correspond with. We always say agree on to with. We always say angry at, angry with, angry about. I don't say angry on me. Apply for or apply to. We say argue about or argue with. Then we say convenient for, convenient for, convenient to. Then you say count on. Then you say account for. You say averse to. Then you say beneficial to. Okay, you say capable of. Then you say characteristic of. You say compare to, compare with. Then you say concerned with. You also say conform to the standards of the company, and consist of. These are certain common things that you should know. These are commonly used, and that's why You must be aware of this. So I thought I should every day give you a list. I've given the list for 2 days. This is the third day that I'm giving you a list. And tomorrow also, without fail, I shall give you a list. And tomorrow will be the last day. So I think I could do as something for you people these 3 days. And I'm sure that these 3 days have been, if not 100% to a certain extent, definitely useful. So with that note, let me end today's class. Thank you so much for attending, because your presence itself was a great blessing. We have no right to expect anything from anybody. Expect whether you will answer, expect whether you will come, expect whether you will be there, or expect that you would not come. Nothing. But the fact that you have taken out your precious time and been here with me for the last 90 minutes is itself a morale boost for me. Yes, let me come and finish my last class honorably tomorrow. So here I am tomorrow, and I shall be here at the same time, 4 to 5:30, and wrap up the session of 4 days. And with that note, I shall end today's class. So a happy weekend ahead. Happy Saturday. Thanks to all of you. Madam, tell me the usage of phrasal verbs. Wow. You did not attend the class all this while. Phrasal verbs are very useful, especially business phrasal verbs. For the past 3 days, I have covered the usage of nearly 25 to 28 phrasal verbs, and they have to be used in connection with a preposition, a verb, and a preposition, break up, sort out, all these, and you'll have to use them while making sentences. I'll see if I can send the list of phrasal verbs to you so that it'll be helpful. Somebody asked me on the first day. So if I could send out that list, it'll be helpful, but you have to utilize that. Then only the sentence holds meaning for it. Because you should know after the verb which preposition you use, so that both put together on its own is a phrasal verb, which has a meaning, but should be within a sentence to give a full meaning. That not only gives you a clear idea about what you're speaking, but also it tells you about the concept in detail, and adds a little sense to the sentence also. So I'll give you the list if you want to, because I've finished almost 25 of them for today, if that is the thing. So with that, definitely I will tell you. With that note, I shall move on. See you tomorrow at the same time for the very last session before your exams. And I'm sure you would have picked up, if not everything, at least something, and that would be enough. So God bless you. Have a lovely day. Good evening. And here's Meenala wishing you all lots and lots of good wishes. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.